Potter Built Customs. We're going to go over the Canyon coolers today. As most people do, they decide that they want a high-end cooler. We did the same thing last fall. As I got to researching, whenever it came to buying the actual cooler itself, I didn't want to give the high-end price for a high-end cooler. So I started doing research. Everything that I could research kept coming back to Canyon coolers. Talked to the guys at Canyon several different times, was able to check some of them out, did a ton. There's a ton of different reviews on Canyon coolers comparing them to other high-end coolers out there, but there wasn't really anything that went over the features of the Canyon coolers, so we're going to do that today. So Canyon coolers, like most of the other high-end coolers, they have the roto molded case. They also have, it's a stain and odor resistant material. What really drew me, one of the things that really drew me to the Canyon coolers, if you look, they have a completely, almost seamless, smooth all the way around. It doesn't have a bunch of things protruding off of it that's going to get snagged on stuff as you slide it in and out of your Jeep, your boat, your RZR, your camper, whatever that would be. The latches are completely recessed. They're not going to catch on anything. You open it up, it's got the seal around the top. Conventional. They're very similar to any other of the high-end coolers. They've got the really thick insulation. They actually use a Hunt X injected foam insulation. The Canyon coolers, they also feature a no-lose drain plug, so you take it out, it's not going to fall out. It threads in, it doesn't just pop in and out. To go over, that's kind of the basic generals of the coolers themselves. There's a few differences between the actual sizes. So on the 35 quart, every single 35 quart has a rubber foot on the bottom of it. That's just kind of an anti-skid feature that helps keep it from sliding around. And also, another big feature of that skid is it protects your actual cooler itself. They have they call it a bulletproof hinge or a forever hinge. It actually goes through the case of the hinge. I don't know if you've ever torn off the hinges and had to replace them on your other coolers, but this one you're not going to tear off. So, we talked about the feet. On all the rest of the 55 quart, 75, which we do not have a 75 here, but we do have the 125. But on those three coolers, if they come in white, they will have the rubber feet. If they come in sandstone or any other color, they'll have the hard plastic on the bottom of them, which is also, it's an anti-skid, it protects the cooler. So, we'll go over the sizes a little bit. We've got, let's set this up. So one thing that Canyon does that a lot of the other companies don't do, their sizes and their numbers that they advertise their coolers at are basically the size of the coolers. A lot of the other manufacturers, if you really get to researching them, these numbers are model numbers. One of the other higher end ones, they advertise a 45. It's actually a 37 quart cooler, not a 45 quart. So this is the 22 quart cooler. It is a true 22 quarts. It holds, if you put in, it will hold 22 cans with ice ideally. You're going to hold 16 cans. I don't really like to talk about ice retention because there are so many variables in it, but this one's advertised at 2 to 3 days of ice retention. The 35 quart is a true 35 quart cooler. 36 cans without ice, 26 cans with ice, and 6 to 18 days retention. The 55 quart is actually, it's a 54 quart cooler. is 56 cans or 46 cans with ice. The 75 quart, which we do not have, is actually a 74 quart, and it is a 64 cans without ice, 55 cans with ice, and then the big boy down here, the 125, that's 98 cans or 81 cans with ice, and it's actually 126.8 quarts. So the numbers are extremely close to, most of them are dead on. If not, they're extremely close to what they actually are. One thing I do want to touch base on, a lot of guys don't know whether to get the 35 or the 50 quart. If you'll notice here, the 50 quart's about an inch deeper, and it's only about 4 1/4 inches wider. So they're really actually a pretty close size in coolers. So if you think you might need the 55, go ahead and step up to it. It's not that much bigger. One great feature that Canyon also offers is the racks that are inserted. They're an accessory rack, but the way that they actually do these is there is a lip here. You can fit up to 2 racks in the 35 quart or 50 quart. But the way that is, then when the lid closes, it actually locks that in, so you can take it up, you can turn it around, you can do whatever. And when you set it back down, the racks are still there just the way they were before. I think that pretty well covers kind of the basics of them. If you've got any other questions, just shoot us an email or message and we'll get back to you. These really are a high-end cooler without the high-end price. So, again, PotterbuiltCustoms.com will get you taken care of. Thank you.